welcome to the first Baltic Clean Water Hackathon's final stage, final pitches from the teams, and yeah, and welcome the jury as well. So let me introduce everything. Just for the ones joining us for the first time through Facebook, let me do a short intro. So I'm Arvidas, innovation partner in Katalista Ventures, and I will be your host for the next 3 hours. And we're organizing this event together with BaltCap, powered by NEFCO, and many more friends, which you will see very soon as well. So one more time, for everyone to know by heart, actually. We had few goals, and few of them, most of them are already fulfilled, actually. So awareness, increasing awareness. More than 40 organizations were approached for this event, and many of them joined it. And I'm super happy to see that 7 of them, we will see 7 solutions today. And people met lots of mentors. They worked in quite a pressure today in quite a short time, in 6 hours. They created their pitches, met. We got organized like 40 meetings today, so it's wow. I'm super happy about it, and it wouldn't happen without our friends here, without all the co-organizers and friends. So thank you everyone who joined this hackathon. And now, as I said, the last part, and of course, what kind of awards or what kind of competition without awards. The good place here, or the good moment, is that every team will get the prize. So probably because this hackathon is super special. We are fighting against water pollution problem, and we definitely want to encourage all the teams. So all the teams will be awarded. Still, few of them will get maybe more meaningful prizes. So we will soon know who and it will be. So, and we also have one special prize by our friends, Environmental Investment Center from Tallinn, Estonia, 2 tickets to Startup Day 2021. So 2 lucky teams will get tickets also to this Startup Day. And we will have 7 beautiful pitches. It was worth waiting. I have no doubts about it. And this is the sequence how we'll see them. But before showing them, let's see our jury. So who will be judging and who will be taking decisions? Who is the winner? Yeah. So I'm super happy, to say that we have Karen, Iveta, and Irmantas from all 3 Baltic countries, ministries of environment. So it's a pleasure to have you here. We also have Šarūnas Stepukonis from BaltCap, co-organizer of this event. We have Dennis from NEFCO, who are powering this event, and we also have Kaya, and as another jury member. And just few more things which will be very, very important here in the pitching before letting the teams pitch. So first of all, it will be 3-minute video for all the teams. So we'll show these videos, and afterwards it will be Q&A session, and it will be around 5 minutes for each team, depending if their videos were a bit longer, so it will be a bit shorter time, but all in all it will be around 5 minutes for Q&A. And the priority to ask questions will be given to jury, but everyone else, you're also welcome to ask questions. Either you are looking through Facebook or joining via Zoom, so you can write in the comments. And if we will have time, we will definitely ask these questions. If not, we will direct these questions to the teams as well. And jury will have evaluation criteria, which will all were kind of introduced as well. And and we also send them via email and Slack as well for the teams. And and last but not the least, one very, very, very important thing, that all the participants, including teams, will be able to vote for the best team as well. So stay tuned and look at all the pitches very carefully to be able to evaluate them as well after all the pitchings are over. So, are you ready? Fired up, ready to go? I am. So, you know, I was waiting for this moment for quite a long right now and can't wait anymore. So let's start. The first ones on the stage, it's Ekodrena. And we will start, as we said, showing the video. So we will show video from our side, and then we will welcome Ekodrena representatives to, you know, for Q&A sessions. So let's go.
Probably every one of us has experienced that unpleasant smell and feeling when you get close to a river, lake, or the sea, which has been affected by the eutrophication processes. The main source of this kind of pollution is agriculture sector. With the increasing number of mouths to be fed in the planet, farmers are forced to increase the amount of nitrogen used in the fields, which later through drainage system flows to surface waters. Meanwhile, farmlands are fighting another huge problem. As global climate change is happening, longer and more often droughts have become the new reality, especially during the active crops vegetation periods. A loss of yields is huge, and the future does not promise anything good either. How to solve these two problems with one solution? The answer is in the video.
JAV ir Kanadoje nuo 2010 metų modernizuojamos drenažo sistemos, ko pasekoje reguliuojamas gruntinis vandens lygis dirvožemyje. Priklausomai nuo oro sąlygų galima sustabdyti drenažinio vandens tekėjimą iš laukų arba leisti vandeniui tekėti laisvai. Pažiūrėkime, kaip viskas vyksta po žeme. Nuėmus derlių, kuomet nėra didelio pavojaus dėl užmirkimo, drenažinis vanduo yra sustabdomas ir gruntinio vandens lygis yra pakeliamas. Tai sulaiko trąšų išplovimą iš dirvožemio ir pagerina jo savybės. Pavasarį, prieš apdirbant laukus, gruntinio vandens lygis yra pažeminamas, kad technika galėtų įvažiuoti į laukus ir būtų išsaugomas maksimalus drėgmės kiekis dirvožemyje. O atlikus darbus, drenažo ištekėjimas vėl sustabdomas, kas gali padėti pasėliams gauti daugiau vandens ir trąšų. Reguliuojamo drenažo sistema Ekodrena suteikia galimybę sulaikyti drėgmę dirvožemyje bei palaikyti vandens lygį prie šaknų zonos, net ir tuose sklypuose, kurie nėra lygus. Pažiūrėkime, kaip Ekodrena sistema veikia tuomet. Įvertinę esamą situaciją, mūsų specialistai suprojektuos Ekodrena sistemos išdėstymą taip, kad vožtuvų pagalba vandens lygis visame sklype būtų sulaikomas prie pasėlių šaknų zonos. Vožtuvai veikia automatiškai ir jų reguliuoti nereikia. Be to jie įrengiami po žeme, todėl visiškai netrukdo technikai darbuotis laukuose. Kontroliuojamo drenažo sistema Ekodrena. Sausinkime tiek, kiek būtina ir nei lašo daugiau.
Many scientific researchers in different countries have the same conclusion. Regulated drainage in North-Central Europe is a win-win solution. This we already approved in practice. More than 40 farmlands have trusted us and have already started installing regulated drainage systems in their fields. Some of them are already spending hundreds of thousands of euros to install this technology to cover whole farmlands. As Latvians and Estonians are very interested too, together with the help of our main distributor, we are entering these markets as well. But as you can see from the numbers below, Baltic state is just the beginning. To say that we have accomplished our mission to make Baltic Sea clean again, we need to expand to so much more countries. Scaling to other country means you must have a good partner there. To find one might be a costly and time-consuming task. So today we are looking for both, the potential partners and the financial support to finance this expansion.
So this was the video, and welcome on the stage, Jonas, and jury, please give your questions here. You can unmute and ask the questions directly, or you can write them in the chat as well, if it is more appropriate for you. Do we have any questions?
Hi, this is Dennis. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Dennis.
If Ekodrena could tell us, do you have any numbers from your existing customers? How much reductions have you seen as a result of implementing your solution?
Well, when talking to our customers, we basically are measuring the business side, and that is the increase in yields, how much more they are having crops in the soil. So it's 10% more, and that means 520 up to 520 euros per hectare per year additional income for the farmer. When it comes to nature side, environmental side, those were measured by scientists quite a few times already. The last research was for 3 years in Lithuania, and they show up to 40% less nitrogen leakage comparing to existing drainage systems. Does that answer your question, Dennis?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I see Sharuna's question. Jonat, what do you need to scale your operations mostly? Well, there are two components, as I mentioned in the pitch. It's potential partners, contacts, whom to call, especially in Denmark and Sweden, which those two countries are talking a lot about regulated drainage on scientific level. Another part is, of course, money for scaling these. We are at the moment scaling to Latvia and Estonia, and we have enough resources for that. But if we go to those countries, if by any chance we have a contact and can expand to, in some way, to Belarus or Russia, then it's quite huge money on the table. So we would not like to be the ones only putting this money. We would like some grants or some very good loans, maybe.
Okay. Any more questions? Maybe from Estonians or Latvians? From jury?
Yes, hello, it's Iveta Tebe from Latvia here. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Is it possible to fund this installation of controlled drainage system by farmers themselves, or it's necessary to get some external support for this in all times? Thank you.
If I understand your question correctly, can they do themselves the installation, right?
I don't think that every farmer should be able to build this controlled drainage system, but are the costs such that farmers can cover installation by themselves only, or additional support is like requisite?
So first of all, I need to mention that installation, or comparing to the devices themselves, is very low. Installation is very easy and fastly done, because we are not talking about a wholly new drainage system for which Soviets spent billions of euros. We are talking about existing drainage, taking out few elements and replacing them with our devices. So if talking about money, if on average per hectare the equipment cost or the devices cost 600 euro, then the installation per hectare is up to 100 euro only. And it's with the instruction which we have prepared and which we are giving away when selling, farmers, if they have an excavator, they can actually install themselves physically.
Okay, thank you. We still have maybe time for very short last question. If not, we are moving to the next team.
I see Kaya question, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so the uniqueness of the project is that it's first time in history when European farmers can regulate the humidity in the soil. they usually only are capable to choose what kind of fertilizers they are putting in. But all those fertilizers eventually, not all, but quite many of them are taken to drainage system and went off. Meanwhile, with our product, they can keep both the fertilizers and the water in the ground.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you then. Thank you, Jonas. Let's move to the next team, okay?
Thank you.
And the next team is FunGuys, and let's see their video. So that was FunGuys video, and now FunGuys, welcome. The stage is yours. So any questions from the jury?
Yes, I would have one question. Irmantas Valūnas speaking. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So my question would be the applicability of your idea, future idea. What you imagine the scale? It would be, for example, 5 cubic meters per day that could be treated with this technology, or it could be applicable to the, for example, 1 cubic meters per second. And my second question would be that what scope of pharmaceuticals can be removed with your technology? I mean, do these bacteria, fungi, could digest all the pharmaceuticals or just some part of them? Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the questions. I will try to answer for the first one about the application volume. So I would like to highlight that we right now are in development stage. So that means right now we work in bioreactor, which volume is 2 liters. And we use bioaugmentation strategy for growing the fungi in these bioreactors. So right now the volume is relatively low. The reason why we are starting with that kind of volume is that we would like to optimize and develop the best conditions for this technology. And then we could go for the bigger volume. So right now we done batch experiments in small volumes. Now we are looking for some funding to optimize our bioreactors, and then only then we could start considering our own application on real systems. But that's in the future, not right at this moment. And about the pharmaceutical removal with the fungi, first I have to say that at this moment there is no good solution in general, including for the fungi, which could remove all pharmaceuticals in wastewater. If you talk about the fungi, right now there's a lot of research going on, and we see that different kind of substances, including pharmaceuticals, pesticides, can be removed by the fungi, but it's differ from the strain to strain. So more investigation should be done what kind of strains could be optimal for using in this technology. But so far we have found that 2 good strains which are really successful in removing the pharmaceuticals. And with the fungi, the best benefit of the fungi is that they can use 2 strategies for removing pharmaceuticals. One is enzyme strategy. So fungi can produce enzymes, which are active compounds which can degrade these pharmaceuticals. And if the enzyme not working on some kind of specific pharmaceutical, also the biosorption can be used for removing this pharmaceutical. That's the benefit of the fungi. So compared to bacteria. So that could be my answer.
Thank you. We also have a question in the chat from Sharunas.
Okay.
So maybe you can even, read yourself probably. You see it? Oh, I can read it. Dear FunGuys, could you please elaborate how you would sell to municipalities and obstacles you would see in the process? What investment would you require and what would you be able to achieve with it?
Yes, thank you. Right now, at this moment, we see municipalities as a good partner where to test this technology. Also, industry we see as a good partner where to cooperate and test this technology. What kind of investments? So if we talk about industry, it depends on the companies if they want to invest in this technology. But if we talk about municipalities, usually wastewater treatment plants belongs to municipalities. So the strong push needs to be done from legislation side. That could raise possibility to observe new fundings and grants from starting with you and also government, that they could invest in new technologies, not only in the fungal treatment, but also in algae, ozonation, and other technologies. So that could be how the investments could be provided for
So
these technologies.
It seems the time is up. Sorry for saying that, but we have still more teams to go. So unless some jury member have very quick question, we can move to the third team. And thank you, Van, for the team.
Yes, thank you very much. And if you have more questions, you can contact Riga Technical University Water Research Laboratory. We are open to cooperate, to answer to all questions. So thumbs up, and I see fungal treatment in the near future as a good alternative technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Brigitta. And then the third team is LITMUS. So let's see the video. Just 1 second. These videos are so good, so even Zoom can't handle them. Just a second. And here it is. Let's see it.
Hello from the LITMUS team. Let's talk about Citizens for Clean Water. Earth's oceans and seas are teeming with life when they're healthy. But imagine jumping into the water and there's nothing there. No oxygen, no life. This underwater desert is no fantasy. It is much bigger than the area of Lithuania and it is expanding every day. This is the dead zone of the Baltic Sea, the largest one in the world. These dead zones are caused by pollution, mainly brought by rivers from land. We can change this and bring life back into the sea. And test nearby water body. Scan the test with the app to measure the water quality level. See your results immediately and see the data collected on the map. Become a part of Water Hero community. And your measurements will help the government and companies know more about the water quality and improve it. So how does this work? Citizens collect data and have fun while doing this by engaging in games and competitions. They see their data collected visually. This data is useful to the companies and government who has to know what's going on with the water pollution in our rivers to make better water management decisions. The impact we are aiming to achieve is to reduce the dead zone area in 5 years by at least 30%. We can do this by improving water quality in our rivers and lakes in the Baltic states and further around the Baltic Sea. We need to invest 180,000 euros in order to adapt the app, the technology that is out there, and to cover its maintenance cost, as well to have a widespread campaign to involve citizens. We can later make this happen with the support of sustainable companies and Ministry of Environment. Let's have clean water for nature and people.
Okay, that was a video. So now LITMUS, welcome on the stage and please give your questions. Okay, Julie, please ask the questions.
Hey, Elvira, could you tell a little bit about the impact you are trying to achieve and how would you measure and what would be the sort of actionable impact measurement that you would use?
We are trying to, as you heard in the pitch, to involve the citizens in the water monitoring and therefore improving the data gaps that are in the monitoring system. And by doing this, we are aiming to empower the decisions regarding water management and implementation of water measures. And by this, addressing the government level as well as businesses to act on it. So this is how we are trying to achieve it. And if we manage to, if we know where these decisions, if we know what kind of pollution there is, where it is coming from, then we can address the pollution sources that are there or implement water pollution reduction measures. And by doing this, therefore, we are discharging cleaner waters into the sea. So we aim at cleaning our waters and therefore reducing the dead zones in the Baltic Sea.
Okay, thank you. Elvira, any more questions?
Yes, please. Hello. Could you please elaborate a bit on what kind of pollution is possible to detect with your device? I mean, organic, non-organic, biogens, things like that. Thank you.
Yeah, we were looking at the possibilities to detect various kinds of pollution. We know that in Lithuania and in the Baltic states, the biggest polluters are intensive agriculture and nitrate pollution, as well as untreated wastewaters and point source pollutions with phosphates and other pollutants coming from intensive fertilizers use. We know that we can detect nitrate levels with a litmus paper, as well as phosphates and ammonium ions. Yeah, so that, and also pH and maybe some more parameters. But I think these are the most relevant right now for the current situation.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Dennis. A quick question. At what stage of development are you at the moment?
We are currently still at the idea growth development, because we entered this hackathon with just this idea and we started from scratch. So currently with our discussions and with the experience we get from hackathon, we are developing on the idea level.
And if I may add, Audrona from Litmus team, the app for the measurement of nitrates does exist in Denmark. So I think we will be using this as a start. So basically we don't need to develop the app from the scratch. So we know it works.
Okay.
Yes.
And we also have a question on the chat as well from Kaya. What is the business model behind the idea and what are the sources of income?
That's a very good question. It appears everywhere and we discuss about it all the time. Basically, to put it simply, the business model is that the citizens get involved and collect the data, while the data is needed for other businesses or for the government. And therefore, one part of our idea is that we could sell the data to the businesses, organizations, and institutions in need. The other part is through partnerships with sustainable businesses and creating partnerships where they can support our activity to have this, to achieve this impact, but also getting in return something that they need from us, reaching the audience, doing education campaigns with us together, getting some data from us that is needed for their side. Yeah, and maybe other additional program fundings like and from the government or some project funding. So.
Okay, so it's just 10 seconds left. So I guess that thank you, Elvira, for the answers, and yeah, good luck. And now it's team AzureBlue. And with them we will have a bit different stories. So they will show a video of themselves. So please, AzureBlue.
Yeah. One moment. I am sharing my screen. Yes, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Is there a... Can you see my screen?
We can see your screen, but we can't hear if you're ready. Okay. Oh, you have, okay.
I haven't. Yes. Okay, it goes.
So when you are sharing, it's a big sound in the bottom part of the screen. Okay. Just stop sharing and
stop share.
And now when you're sharing, it's an option.
Switch computer sound. Okay. Yes. Let's try again. Now?
Now we can see. Can hear us. Make it louder.
What is the organization that you've been working with? Organized. Wise company with interns, national interns. I'm Swedish company that was international. They pay information.
Thank you for your presentation. So now, please ask questions, jury members, for this team.
Hi, Valeria. Could you please tell us a bit of a background story, how you came up with this idea?
Sure. I am currently studying geoinformatics at the University of Tartu, and I did a class on environmental remote sensing where we used satellite data to understand what's happening in the environment. And clean water is an important issue, I think, that a lot of countries face. And there's not a lot of data about it. So in this course, I learned how to do some analyzing, but I realized that unless you understand what's out there or how to interpret it or analyze it yourself, there isn't so much information for those who can't do this or don't know how to do this. And I think that's how we came up with this idea. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, one more question I see. So are there any similar solutions in the market?
From our research, we didn't find any similar solutions on the market. There's several countries that are doing tests with different kind of analyses, and Finland, for example, is doing also with satellite data some studies, and Denmark is doing with some lab sample studies, but there's nothing that's quite like this. There are some platforms that already exist that interpret water data, but they don't interpret it in a way that's understandable for the public. They interpret it in a way that if you're a scientist or an analyst, you know what it's talking about. So our idea is to make it clear for everyone to be able to use it instead of just the people who are professionals in the topic. And have you been using Lake Pipes as a test area? Yes, I was doing my examinations during my course on Lake Pipes, and that is why I used it, because that was my own work from this semester. So I just had already analyses for the 3 contaminants that we were discussing in our app. And so that's why I used it as a study area. And then our current partners from Estonia, we don't have any current partners because we also already started, only started on the day the hackathon really began. So our idea is brand new and still needs a lot of space to grow. But we've talked with the Ministry of Estonia and the Ministry of Latvia. And I've worked with Copernicus data before, and we hope to partner with Copernicus and with another organization that will help us to process the data.
Okay. Any more questions?
Yes, if I may ask.
Yes.
Karin Kroon from Estonian Environmental Ministry of Environment. I noticed that there were several indicators you are planning to show. I was wondering if all these indicators like chlorophyll A, suspended solid are visible through these satellite images, or do you need any additional sensors or additional devices to get all this data, or you use only satellite data?
We were using only satellite data, and our idea is only for satellite data. And that's the reason we chose satellite data, is because you don't need multiple tests to monitor. But while the project is developing, to make sure that the information is accurate, we would do a trial test period where we would validate our information with lab samples to make sure that what we're presenting to the public is also accurate data, or the most accurate it can be. And the 3 that we chose to describe, we chose because it's possible to use with satellite data, and we hope to in the future develop it so that we can include other different parameters, but we still have to work on developing that.
Thank you. It seems the time is up, so thank you, Valerie, for the answers. And now we can move to the next team, yeah? So next team is time to change. And let's see the video.
Let me repaint you a picture. We've all been in such a situation where we go on a vacation on a pristine environment. We imagine that the water is clean and all issues are taken care of by somebody. However, once an extreme event occurs, which are becoming more and more frequent, such a pristine environment becomes polluted, and the pollution effects are visible via eutrophication. There are new pollutants emerging every day, and the unexpected pollution events are not answered by the national authorities. Therefore, a high demand for answers and solutions is necessary. We offer our vision and the vision of change. Therefore, our setup for a change is based on a credible information on emerging pollutants, where we would research and analyze the pollution loads, the treatment of effectiveness, and the ecosystem behavior for the emerging pollutants. This will cause a science-based decision tree for decision makers on the national and regional scale, on municipal and private sectors. Also, it will provide the hints for event organizers and for the whole public, as environmental education will be more and more applied. This will start the circle of a change. Therefore, there will be increased number of environmentally friendly events. The aquatic systems will be healthier. We will reduce the pollution loads. The environmental responsibility of the public will increase. They will see the benefits of new technology solutions, and also there will be an efficient environmental monitoring applied. Thank you for your attention, and let's change.
Okay, that was the video. So now, questions from the jury.
Could you give a practical example? Who would be your client, and what kind of service or product you would provide?
So thank you for the question. Actually, for us, being a team of the researchers, unfortunately, we have not mentioned it maybe in our presentation because we were kind of a bit in a hurry in order to finalize all in time. So this idea was developed quite a time ago, and we are being researchers, of course, as the very beginning see the generation of idea. And so today we just wanted to share with you how we imagine it. And among the potential clients, there were several institutions mentioned, starting from the national authorities, decision makers, also general publics, also these private companies which are arranging, and together with the municipal authorities which are arranging some kind of the events, and of course some environmental agencies which are responsible for the caring of the monitoring. So our idea was just to try to understand the problem in a bit different way. Neither it's been understood during nowadays. So yeah, shortly.
Any more questions?
Yes, I have one question. Could you shortly explain what is actually the trigger to change behavior, people's behaviors with this product?
Yes, so again, I'm not sure whether we should call it product, because it will be some kind of a very huge, how we call it, decision tree, which also will include not only maybe kind of recommendations for the national authorities, but also it will act. I mean, in this case, we're maybe talking about some additional educational campaigns for the general public to provide the results of this very first research in a way which will be suitable for public, which will understand it, and which will then maybe change their behavior afterwards when going to any festival or concert or whatever. So we just wanted to stress this importance for people to change their mind and to make them understand that exactly this, their behavior actually is important during this massive event, not in their ordinary life, which of course is also quite a important thing, but still each of us and each of the public, general public members, they should understand their responsibility exactly during these massive events which provide the maximum stress for the ecosystems.
Okay, thank you. I see one question in the chat as well, which is not from jury, but as jury is not asking questions, so I will ask it. So what kind of emerging pollutants do you have in mind?
Yeah, in a particular way, we're talking mostly about pharmaceuticals. So pharmacy, which actually during the recent years are very high on the agenda. So these pharmaceutical residues, which are not really, which ordinary water treatment facilities are not dealing with, they can't just really clean them at all. And so also microplastics pollution, which also been quite a high on the agenda recently.
Okay, still, area for one more question if you have. Anyone?
Yes. Sorry if I'm repeating the question which has been already asked, but one more time, I understand that you are elaborating the decision tree for the decision makers, but where is would they pay for it, or where comes the income from what you're doing?
We're trying to find. I mean, while putting forward the idea, we're in a parallel trying to find possible solutions to get finances for it, because actually the idea in this case is we just need to check the hypothesis, and for it, of course, there are several chances. Either we can apply and ask for some finances from the national authorities, which in some cases can be quite a difficult story. But also, we're also looking for some additional type of financial mechanisms, like all these regional programs financing such kind of initiatives, environmental initiatives, possibly some private investigators, which maybe could see some possibilities to search for some new technologies for, again, to deal with emerging pollutants. So the amount of stakeholders which we're talking with, and the amount of those who can provide us some kind of financing for doing this research is quite a big one. So it's not some particular institution. There can be several of them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for the team. Thank you. And now the next team is PurOceans. So let's see the video.
And I am CEO of Biotechnology. We know that Baltic waters are highly polluted by oil and leftovers from Soviet Union times. During Hackathon, we have identified two main problems, two projects that requires urgent assistance. First is shredded plastic, microplastic in the river, and the second one is the oil spill off in the waters of the Baltic Sea. So the reason why we're here is that we know how to solve it. We're able to clean up this pollution in the most green and cost-effective way. We need your support to finance these projects to clean up it in the most effective way by our technology. We're able to adapt the technology to these purposes of the projects and perform the work as needed. We're able to lift the level of ecology in the Baltic Sea region much higher. Thank you.
That was video. Thank you. And now, questions from jury members.
Hey, thank you. Excellent presentation. I just wanted to ask what size of funding you're looking for and how would you use it?
We're looking for about 200-300K, and first part will go into extending our technology to 100-200 meters, because at the moment we're able to clean up on the depths of 20 meters. So that will, part of the money will go into testing our technology on the deeper layers that can go into offshore. And the second part that is to clean up the issue with microplastic, because our technology is proved in the laboratory settings to be able to clean up microplastic. However, we need to have a possibility to have a pilot in the field in order to testify the testing done in the laboratory. And as identified during the hackathon week, we have an urgent problem in Lithuania where the shredded plastic was spilled into the river. And in order for us to, we have two solutions how to tackle this problem, and we need finance to be able to do this right away. The first one, we will be able to block the deliver by our technology in order to avoid the spread of the shredded plastic outside into the ocean, and then we will be able to clean out what is there in the rivers that's spread or over the kilometers away. Hello?
I can hear you, so thank you for the answer. Any more questions? Seems, very clear presentation probably, because no answer, no questions are here. But maybe someone has them.
I have one additional question. Maybe you can tell a bit more, who was your client previously and how did it go for you financially to complete that contract?
The first two the clients were oil companies. Lukoil is the one which has a quite big name. They financed the cleaning of the river that was poisoned due to their activities. So in general, our main customers, target groups are municipalities, oil companies, ports, and the polluted site owners. So this is the, hello? I think there's something with the network.
We can hear you perfectly, it's fine.
Okay, good, because, did I answer the question?
And maybe you could add on the financial part, was it a contract that was profitable to you, or you need to change something in the future?
This was a pilot test, as was mentioned, and it provided quite a good base for the financials understanding in Russia, but for understanding better of the situation in Europe, we need to, of course, adjust a bit, but we have quite, let's say, good understanding of the financials in terms of the services, price for the services and so on.
Okay, we have one more question from Kaya in the chat. So how do you tell your interference to the bottom of the water body does not do more harm by releasing accumulated substances like heavy metals?
And Dennis here would have a question also at some point.
Okay, so Dennis, you have the next one. So you can also read this question as well.
Yeah.
In the chat.
So basically, what our technology does, it doesn't interfere, it doesn't intervene or interrupt, to say, the soil. So we only what is happening, we attach the bubbles that we enforce with a certain pressure into the polluted sediment, catch up only the polluted sediment. Nothing else is being accumulated or being disturbed. So only the polluted sediments with a density of 0.7 to 1.7 cubic meter, gram per cubic meter, sorry, is able to go up, basically.
Thank you. Now, the last question from Dennis.
Yes, hello. Could you tell me how scalable is your product? I think it's great that you have some reference projects already, but if we would like to do this on the Baltic Sea level, do you have any experience of how easy it is to make it larger?
Yeah, for the time being, we able to produce about 5 devices, equipments. So the 5 equipments able to perform the work. As soon as we, basically, this is the capacity we have at the moment, and then we will be able also to produce much more as soon as we test that here in Europe it fits very well with everything. But in general, for now, we provide service, and we were planning to go into the maybe Roland can help me. We provided, because my language is going away. We will be providing licensing of our technology. But Roland, please come in and add up from your side.
Sure, I'll try to answer shortly, very shortly. So answering your question, it is possible to scale up because the logic is going to be the same. So we can make the devices larger, and as Elena mentioned, we're also planning to produce some more devices to cover the territory at the speed of 2 or 3 times faster. And answering the previous question about the pollution with the heavy metals, so basically during the treatment that we're doing, there are no sources of the heavy metals that can pollute. So basically what we do, we just enrich the bottom with the air. The bubbles of air stick to the molecules of oil and microplastic, and that's where the flotation happens. So basically it's being lifted in a controllable manner, and that's all. We just capture that and no residuals are left.
Okay, so thank you, Roland and Ilona, and thank you for the team. And now let's move for the last but not the least, yeah? So it's Biovala, and now we will share the video.
Nowadays, citizens and councils facing the unimaginary sight of rivers' water, especially where the current are slower. Water looks cloudy and muddy because of increased eutrophication, nitrogen and phosphorus pollutions pouring in our rivers. So municipalities are looking for some appropriate decisions. So as EU governments making plans for green infrastructure and smart development, best way is to consume pollution in that areas where the most pollutants are generated, and this is the part where Biovala team steps in. Our idea is to install green phyto islands into city rivers and embankments. Specially selected plants not only absorb nitrogen and phosphorus from the river's water, but also will make a shield for degradation of organic pollution compounds. In the first term, the main customer of our technology is city councils and municipalities. We have interviewed a couple of Lithuanian city councils and found out that green solutions for improving water quality are very welcomed, and even municipalities have provided funds in their financial plans and budgets. Talking about government policies, while interviewing representatives from government, we figured out that our solution perfectly matches EU green infrastructure and smart development needs. So in a longer term, we could get support by the governments. The objective is to treat point sources of pollution
1 second. Okay, so now, yeah, we see that probably, you know, the best that Biovala would share their own video. Is it possible to do? Sorry for. Let's see, we have.
Yes, we can share, I guess, because you only share the audio, not video.
Yeah.
As I saw, yeah.
Okay, so.
So I can share screen maybe.
Okay. Put the audio as well.
You can see it?
Yes.
Okay.
We can't hear it, so then please reshare it from the beginning, and when sharing again, put like this audio tip as well, that we could listen as well. At the bottom, left bottom, should be a button to share with audio. Just stop sharing this one and share again.
Okay, sorry. Nowadays, citizens and councils facing the unimaginary sight of rivers' water, especially where the current are slower. Water looks cloudy and muddy because of increased eutrophication, nitrogen and phosphorus pollutions pouring in our rivers. So municipalities are looking for some appropriate decisions. So as EU governments making plans for green infrastructure and smart development, best way is to consume pollution in that area where the most pollutants are generated, and this is the part where Biovala team steps in. Our idea is to install green phyto islands into city rivers and embankments. Specially selected plants not only absorb nitrogen and phosphorus from the river's water, but also will make a shield for the of our technology is city councils and municipalities. We have interviewed a couple of Lithuanian city councils and found out that green solutions for improving water quality are very welcomed, and even municipalities have provided funds in their financial plans and budgets. Talking about government policies, while interviewing representatives from government, we figured out that our solution perfectly matches EU green infrastructure and smart development needs. So in a longer term, we could get support by the governments. The objective is to treat point sources of pollution and then combine that with the treatment in the rivers to deal with the more diffuse sources of pollution. We believe that the plants and floating islands are a good platform for treatment. Furthermore, plants combined with the natural bacterial strains will not only take up nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus, but also increase degradation of organic pollutants. Existing scientific research summarizes that nitrogen and phosphorus surplus can be decreased up to 50%, water particulates up to 30%, heavy metals up to 33% of 1 cubic meter effluent with a 1 square meter of island. During social interactions while installing and disseminating projects, we will create social knowledge on prevention from creating pollution to rivers. While using our solution, we will minimize of creating complicated and expensive infrastructure needs for water treatment processes. After growth season and the processing the plants, we will reuse and recycle materials captured during the season, and we calculate to reach about 200 euros profit per square meter of island. Our team consists of environmental engineers, cleantech experts, and business developers, and that's we came here for your approval. For the brighter future, this team needs up to 100,000 euros grant to complete and test fully working prototype. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the video. And yeah, now the questions from jury members.
Yeah, it seems like the same problems like we half a video lost. I don't know how that happened.
Technology's thing, but I think, we got
Because,
it.
yeah, because the slides are okay, but while sharing screen, it gone somewhere. I don't know why, really.
I guess, yeah.
Hi, it's Dennis. Can I ask a question?
Yes, definitely.
Can you tell us a bit about similar experiments elsewhere in the world, perhaps, and if there are any results from similar type of islands elsewhere?
There is some islands, but they're targeting not especially, as we know, to the water pollution. It's more targeting on the aesthetic image of the embankments of the rivers, but there is a scientific information about the levels of remediating and cleaning the water. Because as I mentioned, if you heard on a presentation, like nitrogen, sorry, like nitrogen pollution can be decreased up to 50%, phosphorus up to 33%, and heavy metals up to 33%, and phosphorus up to 30%. Talking about levels of decreasing the pollution.
Okay, we have also a question from chat as well. Your team was a climate launchpad winner in year 2018. So what has been the main progress after that? And what market obstacles have you not overcome during that period? That's the question.
Yeah, thanks for remembering us. Yeah, we were winners of Climate Launchpad in 2018. And yeah, the main progress is we are on Horizon 2020 at the moment, project in the European funds, and we are waiting for approval for September, and we will know if we get additional investments to develop the following solution we were presenting in 2018. It's not the same we are presenting here, but it's also phytoremediation, talking about the soil pollution.
Okay, one more question I see. What investment are you looking for, and how would you use it, and what it would help you to achieve?
Yeah, we are looking on primary calculations about for 100,000 euros to create a fully working prototype on real scale. We're thinking about 3 islands per 10 square meters. So in total, it's about 30 square meters. And yeah, we just want to make some real numbers, some real arguments to investors to prove that the islands really work, and not only in literature of researches, but on a real field researches.
Okay, thank you. So one more question, I guess we have time for. Do we have a question? If not, so this was it from the team presentation. So big thank you for all the teams. It was really outstanding. So now jury will go to the separate room to evaluate all the teams and vote for the best ones.